here live. So we are doing a live class here on Beadaholique.com. So if you are joining us and watching this from one of our other streaming platforms, welcome as well. We're streaming on YouTube and Facebook and Beadaholique right now. Now, one little difference is if you want to comment, share some ideas, ask a question, anything like that, and you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, just know that I can't see that comment live, but there's a link in the video you're watching. It will take you over to Beadaholique, and then when you comment, I can see it and we can talk and interact, which is always so much fun. And we have Thaisa here helping us. And good morning, Thaisa. I love this. It's always like friends coming together. So we always play and create, but it's wonderful to see such familiar names and get to know people. It's wonderful. Hello, Annie and Francie and Lydia. Good morning. Teresa, hello. Tracy, hi, Tracy. So like I said, we are live. This is Thursday morning. Tanya, Connie, hello. Carol and Linda in Boston. Hello, we were talking about Boston again this morning. Oh my gosh, my husband really did fall in love with Boston when he visited, and now I want to go see it. I want to see Boston. And hello, Carolyn and Santa Barbara girl. Good morning. Oh my gosh, a bunch of names just popped up. Dee and Julianne and Anne. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. We are going to do beaded spiders today. This was a request. So we had the best show probably about a week and a half ago now when we were talking about what to do in future classes. And we came up with this really long list. And Thaisa and Brian took notes and then they sent me the list and I've been plugging it into the schedule. Hello, I see Linda and Robin and Monique and Bonnie and Libby. Hello, I know I missed a few names in there too. They went so fast. I'm not moving to Boston, although, you know, the thought every once in a while does occur to us, because he really loved it so much. I think we're going to stay in California. We love our schools here for the kids and they have friends. But he really did fall in love with Boston. And I think the fall season would be beautiful there. Oh my goodness. So one of the ideas we came up with was beaded spiders. And so I beaded a spider. I actually made 4 of them. So I'm going to show you this little guy. So this is one of them. And then I thought, well, he needs a web. So we need a way to display our spiders. And so I came up with a web using a snowflake form. So now these snowflake forms, they're wire forms. They can now be used for snowflakes, sun catchers, and spider webs. So it's kind of funny. You think that maybe these forms are kind of limited, but they're not. So I will do one quick little note. This was the 6-inch form. We are out of stock of it currently. We're going to get more in before Christmas. But we do have the little 4.5-inch one, so you can make a smaller little spider web if you want. Oh my gosh. I'm looking at Linda's comment. Oh, okay. Yes, absolutely, Linda. Enjoy fall sightseeing. I wish I could be there with you. Oh my gosh, I love it. I know there's the Fans of Beadaholique Facebook page. If you ever wanted to take pictures and put them up there of your sightseeing with fall in Boston, I would love to see it. Hello, Monica. Okay. So the replay will be available shortly after we sign off. So that's always nice. So all these videos we do, they're archived, they're saved. Oh, thank you, Carolyn. I had to make a web. The idea popped in my head and I'm like, is this going to work? And I think it worked out really nicely and pretty easily too. Oh, thank you, Linda. That would be great. Oh my gosh, and Santa Barbara girl is saying that you could do the web with glow-in-the-dark stringing material. That would be really cool. I think you could even do it with beads. It would take a long time, but I think you could do a beaded web too. So this uses a few beads as spacers, but I think you could do all of it. You could also use like silvery, metallic-y yarn as well, or other type of stringing material. So there's a lot of variations. I just used a white yarn. So I'll show you how I did it with that, but you could swap out your textile with a bunch of other ones. So this is going to be fun. As always, if you want to see anything that is on my table, it's preloaded into that shopping bag. So you can see the size, the quantity, all that good stuff. So that shopping bag is your resource bag. Oh, you're very welcome. I love it. Vilma, I love doing these. I was just telling my husband on our morning walk, I love doing these. Yes, you can absolutely add a bead here or there as a caught fly. That's a great idea. And the way I constructed it, I left a long tail so you can hang it. So you could trim this off, but you could also hang this if you want some hanging spider webs, which would be pretty fun as well. So lots of different things you could do. If you like what you see, those little floating hearts are great. I see a bunch of them right now, so I think we liked the web. There's the share arrow, so if you want to share this video, you can. I think that's it, guys. Of course, ask questions, comment, tell me what's going on, and we're gonna have fun. I'm gonna flip my camera down, show you all the spiders I made, and then we're gonna make one. Oh, rain is coming to Seattle. Yes, I remember those days. I grew up in Seattle. Okay, let's see. Here we go. I'm going to keep adjusting my lights. I feel like my lighting is just not quite perfect these days. I got some new lights and I'm just not loving them exactly just yet, but we'll get there. Okay. Oh, hello, Nana. Oh my gosh, Nana of 10. That's amazing. Thank you for joining us. We can see your comments live. You saw a pretty pink spider lately. Oh, that's a cool one. I haven't seen a pink spider, but I sure had fun making them in different colors because at first I thought, well, I got to keep to more spider colors. So I made this little black one and black and silver. And now this is using a Prestige 10 millimeter. I'll try to walk you through what these use because we're going to make one here. Oh, hello, Marie. So this is basically your formula is you need a smaller bead and a larger bead. So you need a smaller bead for the head, larger bead for the body. You could also put a third bead in between. So I kind of did two different ways of doing this. And so what we're going to do here is you've got the bigger bead and the smaller bead. This is a 10 millimeter and an 8 millimeter. This one here is an 8 millimeter and a 6 millimeter, so you can see the size comparisons. And so this one is our little black and gray guy, and these are little 3 millimeter fire polish, and they're all there in the shopping bag. So all of those beads that you see here are there in the shopping bag. This is a gray pearl, the jet black round bead. And then what I did, because I thought it kind of made an interesting look, for the little legs, I combined demi round size 11.0 with an 11.0 Toho round. So I combined demis with rounds, but you don't have to. You can play around with whatever you want to do for the actual legs, but this was combining demis and rounds. And then this little guy here has a purple melon bead, and then he has a little fire polish. So this is again an 8 and a 6 using the 3 millimeter fire polish again. This one I put a little extra body part in. So I think it works both ways. So you can do 3 beads or 2 for the extra body part. It's just the same bead I used here. And so this was really easy. Again, I combined, this one just used all demis. So you see it's just all those little kind of squished round beads, those little demi rounds. So I just used a couple different colors of them. So I thought that was fun. And I'm just going to walk you through each spider and then we'll make one. Okay, and then this one was my little blue spider because I loved the glowing body part here. This was a nice big 12 millimeter Prestige pearl, and he's got a little rondelle for a head. So I feel like as you're playing with this, as you're kind of experimenting, feel free to use different shapes. I also found this shape. This is a jet black oval. I thought this was neat. This could be really cool for the body as well. And that's a Prestige crystal as well. And then I love this blue. Like you can imagine that glowing blue would be so nice. All right. And then this spider, I think he's my favorite. This was a melon bead with a fire polish. So an 8 and a 6. And then I just used these frosted rainbow finish size 11 round beads. So again, I didn't put joint ones. So if you notice this one, I put like little joins for him, like little leg joins to add a little extra sparkle. And this one, I just used all of the Toho rounds. So you can do a lot of variation. This is what it looks like from the underside. So you see what his bottom side looks like. So there we go. Okay, let's go ahead and make one. So do you guys have a preference of which one you want to make? I have all the supplies. When I make spiders, I make a circle with wire of about 3 wraps. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I was trying because this is something new to me for making these spiders. So I was experimenting with different ways of doing it. And I also found that I like the 24 gauge wire for the legs. Okay, black one with joints. Okay, let's do it. Black one. Okay. So for this black one, we're going to be using some 24 gauge wire for the legs. And this is just artistic wire. Let me clear off. So the fire polish that I used is there in the shopping cart. It's this one right here. It's kind of like a shadowy gray half crystal one. And then I've got that. And then I used this pretty round bead. Oh, thank you guys. And then I used this as the head. So a gray pearl as the head. All right. And then we are just going to use this. I'm going to clear a little spot. Okay. Oh, thank you, Laura. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, so here's another little piece of info. I found I liked the 24 gauge for the legs. I didn't like it for securing the body. For the gold ones, I had 22 gauge wire handy and it worked really well. So you can do 22 gauge for the body and 24 gauge for the legs. I only have a 20 gauge silver on hand, so I'm going to use a 20 gauge for the body. What I found was the 24 gauge actually broke on me for the body because you put a little bit of stress on it when you do your wrappings. Okay, so I'm going to cut off a length here of about 3 inches. And I found being a little bit generous with your wire and adjusting later helps a lot. Okay, so I'm going to just take you could take your round nose. I'm actually just taking my Zuron chain nose. You could also use your wubbers. We're going to use the wubbers when we do the web to work with our snowflake form. But I actually found that I didn't use any round nose or wire looping for this. I just used my regular pliers. And I'm just going to make a turn. So I'm just, here you can see this. I'm just making a little turn. And then I'm going to put on my big bead and my small bead. Okay. So I've got the 2 beads. So this is our body and this is our head. And I just, for all of the spiders, I did it where there was just a 2 millimeter difference. So a 10 and an 8 or an 8 and a 6. Or you can do itty bitty spiders as well. I definitely cut too much wire here. Okay, so we're just gonna cut this wire. And we're gonna cut it about almost 1/2 inch, a little less, but almost 1/2 inch. And we're gonna turn our end here as well. And you're noticing, unlike a eye pin, I'm not worrying about centering that loop again. I'm just trying to curve it. So we're gonna curve it. And curve it and kind of walk our way down. So it basically just anchors your beads in place, and that is your body. Now I'm going to cut, and this is where I struggled to begin with. I cut this too short. I was trying to save wire. So I'm actually going to cut this a little bit longer. We are going to need 4 pieces of it. And I've got my ruler. Good morning, Gina, and good morning, Rhett. Hello. Okay, so what we're going to do, so we're going to do 5 inches. And we need 4 pieces that are 5 inches long each. And we're going to eventually trim them up. So don't worry if it's 5 1/4 inch or just a little bit off. Okay. Okay. So now we're done with our ruler for this one. And we are going to line up the ends of our wire. And this is 24 gauge, and this is why 24 gauge was nice, because it's going to be easier to work with together. So we're just lining up our ends. All right, so here we go. So you've got this nice band of wire with your 5-inch pieces, and you can see mine are not perfect. I'm going to trim that up later, or I can just kind of even that off right now. There we go. So there, we're ready to go. So now we're going to wrap it around our spider. So here is our little body, and you're going to want to put it towards the middle so you have equal length. It's coming out either side. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to bend it, and we're holding them together. And then we're going to crisscross, and we're going to come up here, and we're going to bend it over here. So we made a full wrap around the whole body and came out the other side. So this is the underside of your spider. So, and that's pretty nice and tight. Now I was trying to play with it and see if I needed to kind of twist it here, and it got a little too bulky. So I'm just going to have this going out here, and when we fan these out, these are our spider legs. Now, if you think your spider is going to get a lot of wear and tear, you could consider putting a little bit of glue right here. I don't really like gluing wire. I found that it was actually cleaner and he stayed together better when I didn't try to overdo that middle section. So here is our spider. And I was finding my spider was hanging pretty good here together and not getting out of sorts. But if you are worried about it all, I also thought it'd be really cool. You can glue a crystal right there. If you've got a little flat back crystal, you can glue a little crystal right there and add a little sparkle to your spider. And you can always twist it if you want these little knobs like down. You can twist them in the down position because this rotates around his center. Oh, thank you for the heart. So here is actually kind of a cool looking spider as is, but we're not done. We're gonna add beads. So the beads I used for the black one, this little guy right here, were the demis, the rounds, and these fire polish. So these are the 2 or 3, I should say, beads. So these little 3mm fire polish. There's a bunch to choose from. I think a 2mm would be nice as well. Then your basic black jet 11-0 rounds. And you can do his whole leg in rounds, or you can add the demis. I thought the demis just added a little something. So you could, twist the legs together for stability. Oh, like twist a couple of these legs. You probably could. I mean, we could even experiment here. Like you can kind of twist, put a little twist in there for each of them. Give them a little twist. If you see that. I was experimenting with this and I was like, at some point it gets too bulky for our little spider if we do too much, but we could definitely twist it, and that just anchored it a little bit more. And that's the nice thing about wire is wire, I always say, just kind of make it do what you want it to do. Like, don't be afraid of the wire. Okay, so we're just putting a little twist in there. And let me see. Yeah, so that was a good idea. So we could definitely just give it a little twist. So now it's even more anchored in there. And now we're ready to add our beads. So you just kind of straighten these out with your hands. It's only 24 gauge wire. I did do the legs on this one with 22 gauge wire, and it was harder to work with. I will say that there is a big difference between 22 and 24 when you are doing something like this. All right, let's make sure that twist stays down. Oh, hello, Sue. We're making spiders. Okay, so now we're going to add our legs, or bead our legs. So I'm going to do 3 demi rounds, and I'm just going to put it right onto the wire. So let me move this aside. 3 demis, 1, 2, 3, 3 of the black Toho rounds, 3 more demis, a join. So this is with the extra sparkle. Okay, so there's the join in there. So this is what we got, and they'll just go on down towards the body. And then let me see what I did for here. I just repeated the same pattern. So 3 demis. I tend to like to do repetitive patterns because I think it's easier to remember how to do it. Like if you go back and you want to make more of these, it's easier if you have like the same amount on both sides. Okay, so here is our first spider leg. And now what you can do, I actually thought it was fun to not trim this too much. Yes, my fairy home does need a spider. You're right. I think this guy will have to join it. All right, so I'm going to trim it ever so slightly. And then I'm just going to take my chain nose again, and I'm going to make a little spiral. So I'm just turning the tip. And this is what I think is kind of a fun little decorative element. Okay, so again, variation time. You could have trimmed it lower and just make this one little loop. I thought it looked really cool to then grab that loop with your extra wire and make a little spiral on his legs. So I am just working the wire down until I hit the beads. And then he's gonna have this cute little spiral. So you see? We made a cute little spiral at the end of his legs. And I'm not gonna bend his legs until all the legs are done, but now the beads won't fall off. Oh, hello from El Paso, Texas. Hello, Maria. Okay, now we're ready for another leg. Okay, so I'm gonna do the exact same on repeat. And of course, spiders have 8 legs, so we've got 8 legs to do. We've done 1. And so again, 3 demis, 3 rounds, 3 more demis, a join. Oh, hello from Oahu, I love it. And actually, Thaisa, our sale is 40% off everything here on Beadaholique. So everything is 40% off, which is good. Of course, we are going through our store closing sale, but we're still having fun with these videos for sure. Oh, the beginning will, you can watch the replay for sure. We're making beaded spiders and a spider web. Oh, colored wire on the spiders? Definitely, definitely. You could definitely do any color wire for the spiders. You can do any color beads like this one here. Like this really is one of my favorite spiders. And I would not have thought frosted rainbow white beads with the kind of ethereal finished body and head would work, but I love him. He's really one of my favorites. Okay, so again, I got this nice long piece of wire. I'm just going to twist it on down. Okay, so now we've got 2 legs. We're gonna keep going. And then we'll make the spider web, because the spider web, I'm gonna show you how to start and finish the spider web. I don't think we'll have time to make the whole web in the show. It actually took longer than the spider. And you'll see why. It wasn't hard by any means, but it just was a little time consuming. But I'll show you how to start it and how to end it. I was also thinking bicones could be really fun as the joins. So that could be really fun. I thought also those English cut beads are so pretty, could be good as joins. I love the idea of like even like the glow in the dark, like Santa Barbara Girl said for the web. I think you could also do glow in the dark beads for your spider, which would be really cool. So just when this is a little too long, I'm trimming it just a little bit with my cutters. And then I'm just making a spiral. Okay, so you see how those little spirals are looking? I think they're just a cute little added decorative touch. You don't have to do them. Oh, Oh, that's interesting. You could twist the tiny wire in front of the head to become the two jaws instead of a loop. Oh, I like that too. That's a good idea. Yeah, it was really fun, like getting ready to do this class here, because I was seeing so many wonderful variations on how you can do this, and just really cool. Like I love like the really brightly colored spiders too. You can do them anything you like, any beads you like. Just make sure you have that bigger bead and smaller bead for the head and the body, and then whatever you like for the rest of it, the legs and all of it, and the joins. Okay, so then we've got that loop, and we're almost half done with our little spider. More than half done, because we did the body to begin with. And I'm just working it down with my chain nose. Nothing fancy here. Okay, so he's half done. You see those joins. And now we're just going to do the other side. I even like him with the wire legs. Like, I think if you were making like decorations, I think he would look really cool just with wire legs too. We're definitely going to do the beads, but the wire is kind of an interesting look. You know, they haven't seen these yet, Tracy. I haven't shown them, but they're going to love it. They went nuts for the fairy houses. Ooh, I like that. Mini daggers or mini does for jaws if the spider is big. Yeah, you can scale this up. You can definitely take the same technique and just go bigger. So have a bigger body, bigger legs, everything. And you can make a bunch of these. Like how fun would these be if you had like a dinner party and you set one of these down on everybody's plate, just as like a little extra something special for them. Oh, I like that. Make a silver Christmas tree and a little spider to sit next to it. Yes. So what is the origin of the Christmas spider? I feel like I'm sure it's not a new tradition. It's just something that's new to me last year. And I've been seeing it more and more, but I don't know what its significance is. Does anyone know the significance of the Christmas spider? Okay, and this one is a little bit long, so we're going to trim it. And we are live here. If anyone's joining us and being like, what's going on? We're making beaded spiders. We're going to do a web. We are live on this Thursday morning here. Well, morning for me. I'm on the West Coast. I love it, Tracy. Sit it by the toilet and scare your guests. I like that. Oh my gosh, that'd be fun. Ooh, a spider done with a skull head bead for the head. That would be really neat. It'd be creepy, but it'd be neat. Okay, and then we're just going to keep it going here. Yeah, look up the Christmas spider. I'm going to have to look it up when I'm later this afternoon. There is something that I'm seeing more and more, and I just don't remember it, but oh my gosh. Okay, I'm having fun reading all the comments. Yeah, there's some meaning behind it, and it's becoming more and more popular. Oh, okay. So Cindy's saying, yes, story is women cleaned and the spiders in her house went to her tree. Yes, a spider spins her web in the tree. Then Santa comes and turns the web into tinsel. Okay, I love that. And that makes a lot of sense. Oh, that's fun. Okay. Now, is this a newer story or an older story? Because I really don't remember it. Okay. Oh, it's a German story. Okay, that's cool. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Yes, we should do a Christmas spider, guys. We should do a Christmas spider. Maybe we do a Christmas spider ornament. So we somehow do it where it's an actual like ornament that we could put on our trees, which would be cool. Hello, Tina. Okay, so now this is a little long. I think this side ended up a little longer. That's why I liked to be a little bit generous with the wire for anyone who's joining us, we initially cut 5 inches of wire for the strips that became the legs. That will be available on replay after we say goodbye today, if you want to see all the exact measurements and how to get this spider started. But I do think it made life easier to cut a little bit of extra wire. We probably could have made do with 4 inches for each strip, but honestly, it was nice not to be running out of wire. I love it. Okay, I like this Christmas spider tradition. I'm loving it, or the story. So I'm going to do, I keep going. Again, we're doing 3 demis, 3 rounds, 3 demis, and then we're coming to a joint for our spider legs, which is a sparkly 3mm fire polish. And we're just stringing it on here, sliding it down. And then we're going to do a repeat of that same pattern, 3 demis, 3 rounds, and 3 more demis. Okay. Oh, I do a netted ornament and hang a spider from the bottom. I like that. That sounds good. I've been wanting to also use memory wire for ornaments, bracelet-sized memory wire, because it makes a really nice circular shape that holds its shape. So I was like, well, how can I incorporate a spider webby feel to that? I mean, we could just use the snowflake forms again and make just the smaller one, the 4.5 incher. So he's coming along. He's almost done. Smaller ones for earrings, yes. So this is still an 8 and a 6. He's got shorter legs though, but you could do maybe a 4 or maybe a 6 and a 4. That would be cool. Oh, we have a Christmas pickle as well. What is and that story is you're supposed to like hide it in your tree and then find the Christmas pickle. And then is it that someone gets an extra gift, or what happens to who finds the Christmas pickle? I don't remember, but we definitely have a beautiful glass Christmas pickle. Okay, almost done with our spider. And then we're gonna shape his legs a little bit just to make him look more spidery. Thank you for the hearts, guys. Oh, they get money. Oh my gosh, my kids would go nuts. They would tear my tree apart trying to find that. Extra gift, I like that. Oh man, I almost feel like, because I've got 2 boys, I have to somehow make it even where I hide 2 pickles and they each have to find one, and when they find it, they'll each get an extra little gift. Okay. Last leg, and we're just doing this little twirly method to add a little extra decoration to our guy. So here is our spider. Oh, a gift card. Oh, I like that. That's fun. So how many, oh, great question. If I do a 5 inch, so when you say a 5 inch spider, do you mean the same 5 inches we cut to begin with? So let's see, 10 yards is 30 feet. And then we're going to have to figure out, Thaisa. So 30 feet times, so 30 times 12, because we need to figure out how many inches. So 30 times 12 is, oh my goodness, 30 times 10 is 300. Okay, so 324 inches divided by, then we did 4 times 5, divided by 20. 324 divided by 20 will give us the answer. If I did that right in my head. Thaisa, can you figure out what 324 divided by 20 is, please? I think I did the math right on that one. So we just need to know that last calculation. Okay, so then for the legs, okay, 16.2. Okay, so you'll get 16 spiders out of that spool, not including the center one where you use a little thicker wire. So I think you'll get 16. So maybe think of it as like 15 spiders out of that spool. Give yourself a little extra room. Okay, now we're going to bend the legs. And so we're just going to bend it up and down. We're going to do that with each of them. Just push in on that join, bend it up and down. And you can make these really bent or not so bent, whatever you like. So you see the difference? Here it is with the bent legs, and then here it is with the straight legs. And so I'm just going to go over here, push up on that join, push up on the join. 12 times 30. Oh, okay, thank you. 12 times 30 is 360. 20 is 180. 20 divided by 20 equals 180. And then I think we move the decimal place because we're talking about, so you won't get 180 spiders, you'll get 18 spiders. Okay, 18. Okay, good. Okay, I'm glad you guys are on it for the math, better than I am. All right, here's our spider. So here is our little spider, and here's what he looks like on his underside, which even looks kind of cool like that. So that's what he looks like on his underside. This was the 10 millimeter and 8 millimeter combo. And so you see what that looks like. Oh, thank you. Could you use the same wire for the center and just pass it through 2 or 3 times? Oh, yeah, you could. You could. So I'll let you know why I didn't use the same gauge wire for the center as the legs. So I did a lot of practicing to make these little guys. And when I tried to use 24 gauge wire for the center, it snapped on me because you put a bit of pressure on it when you do the center wrapping. And so the 24 gauge wire snapped on me. 22 worked fine because I did the gold ones with 22 gauge wire as the center. And I did 24 as the legs. And then like for the silver one, I didn't have 22 gauge on hand, but I had 20. So I used the 20 gauge. But here's all our different little spiders. And you can, of course, use whatever materials you like. They turned out really cute though. I love them. I love these little spiders. I feel like you could just have so much fun making them. And it's kind of fun. Like his face is super sparkly because he's a rondelle. Then pearls and check fire polish and melon beads. I actually really like the melon beads too. I think those are really cute. So there's our spiders. And of course, spiders need a web. So let's talk about how to make the web. Like I said, I'm going to kind of improvise a little bit on the web here. Oh, we do need a ladybug. Yeah, I like these better than the real ones too. I am not a fan of real spiders. All right, so for the web, a couple disclaimers here. One is we're not gonna be able to finish this whole web in the show here. It just takes a little too long. But I'm gonna show you how to start it and to finish it. The web is done on a snowflake wire form. So these are really, I love these. I've used these for snowflakes, for sun catchers. You can use them. Now I'm like, oh, you can make a dream catcher out of them too. This is the size 6-inch. So we don't have this in stock right now. So only one I had to work with because I had it left over from last summer for sun catchers. We have the 4.5, so it's just a little bit smaller. So it'll make just a little bit smaller of a web. We will be getting more of these in closer to the holidays. So just that's one quick little note. So this is a little bit bigger than what you'll be able to make. Yours will be like this. Okay, this was really fun to make. I'm going to clear some space so we can kind of see. And if you look on the back side, you can see how it's constructed. So these here are all size 8/0 Toho round beads. So you see kind of here, it is lined with Toho round size 8/0 beads. You have a lot of options with this. I'm going to be using some white. I'm going to move my camera up so we have a better view. I'm going to be using white yarn. This is a sport weight, size 3. Use whatever you like. You can use black, you can use white, you can use metallic, you can use thinner, you can use thicker, whatever you like. So I'm trying to get the lighting okay here as we do this. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way because I already can tell that I'm going to have some snagging happen. Sparkly silver chain would be beautiful. Oh, you can make these so fancy. You can even wire wrap these with wire and beads too. So you can do that as well. Ooh, I like it. Show idea. Oh, Thaisa, can you add that to the show idea list? Making a complex beaded snowflake using that snowflake frame. Yes. Oh, I love it. Monica, your son sounds very handy. Yeah, so these are joined. They are pre-welded together. They're joined in the middle. It is thick. It is a strong, thick wire. Do not cut these with your regular cutters. It will damage them. At least I believe it will. Also, their ends are pretty stiff to turn. I always use my wubbers to turn them. So I don't use my Zurons, I use my wubbers. And that's, again, why I always talk about, like, if you have to have 2 pairs of chain nose pliers, might as well have a heavy dutier one and a finer one. Okay, so we are going to literally just tie a knot. You know, I don't know, Santa Barbara girl. That's a great question. I have never tested it. Probably memory wire cutters would work, but I'm not sure. This is a pretty strong, significant wire. So we're just going to tie a little knot, slip it onto one of our ends. And then we're going to tie another knot. Okay, just so that is anchored. So you can see that we're now anchored onto our form. And then what we're going to do is just keep the tail to the back, and you can even trim it a bit. We're going to eventually trim it totally. You can trim it a bit so it's not. So we are going to go over the next one, loop around, push it down, go over the next one. So we're always going over, loop it around, push it down, rotate, over, loop around, push it down, over, loop around, push it down, over, loop around, push it down, and you want to come back to your starting position. Okay, now you can do that a couple more times if you like before adding your beads. Now, if you keep doing it like that, you're going to have a very thick spider web without the gaps of air. So you see how you have little stripes of air, little gaps between each yarn row here. If you want just to have it be solid, you would just keep going like that, like we just did for the entire snowflake. Now, if you want it to be those more webby gaps, we need to add some seed bead spacers. So we're going to use a tube of 11/0s, and I need to have a little place to put them so they don't roll. I love that idea too. Have you guys seen the snowflake forms that use the snowflakes that use margarita beads to make little Christmas trees on their tips? I've seen that done, and it's so cool looking. So we could even do like a beaded snowflake, but it ends in like little Christmas trees on the ends. That would be really fun. Crochet cotton, that would be nice with a little sparkle in it. Absolutely. Whatever you want to put on these, you know, put on here. Look around your house, see what material you have. You can even do like a rustic one with some twine. Lots and lots of options. Okay, so after we've gone around one full circle, we're going to add a bead to our frame. We're going to let it slide on down. Now when we do our wrap, we're going to wrap on top of that bead. So same thing, going over and around. And now hold on to this. Don't lose your tension on your yarn or whatever stringing material you're doing. Next arm, pick up another bead, let it slide down, go over and around and down. Oh, thank you for the hearts. And now next bead, again, always keep tension nice and solid here. Pick up another bead. Okay. Here we go. So you see how those little beads are creating space between your yarn rows. And we're just going to keep going. I feel like I want to make a ton of these because I just think they're really cool. I love the idea of something sparkly, like maybe a silvery sparkly yarn or a thinner twine even. That would be really cool. So just looking where my thing is. And then we go over and around. And you can see it's not hard. We're just repeating the same action. It's just picking up a bead, wrapping around, picking up a bead, wrapping around. Okay, and then here. And I'm always going around over the top, down around the back and over. Oh, thank you, Shirley. I love these snowflake forms. I've used them for so many different things. And you can see we're building and we're just going around and over, and you can see how it's spiraling on us. Oh, Eslon would be good. Now, the only thing to remember is if you are using a really thin thread or cord, you're going to have a lot more web rows because this yarn actually, being the sport weight, takes up a bit of space, which would be really cool. It'll just take a little bit longer to do because you're going to have more rows to do because your material won't take up as much space. But that would be really cool. Yeah, I think there's so many really neat, shiny, metallic-y different textiles out there that you can use. So again, just around and over, and you keep going. And then I'm going to show you how you'd finish this. Oh, yeah, you could. So you could just add 6 or 8 beads you need and put a bead stop around the end, and then you wouldn't have to keep stopping. Oh, that's a good idea. Yes, a bigger bead would work as well. So these are 8s. You could do a bigger bead. You can do a different shaped bead. You can do whatever you like. You're just trying to fill like a nice little gap right there to create more of the web look. So I don't know if a 15-0 is going to fit on this wire. I think an 11 would. I can verify that. This is a pretty thick wire. Let me see if an 11 will go in. Yeah, an 11 fits, but that's going to be the smallest you can put on there. Okay, so this is what we have. And then I'll do like 2 more, but you're getting the idea of what it looks like. I'll show you the finished piece, and then I'm going to show you how to tie it off. We're going to pretend that we've done all of it. We just keep building. And there we go. So you see how it's building, and then this is your back side. So you see all of those beads, and it looks even cool from the back. Okay, once you've done it all, so you've done your whole spiral, and then what you can do is you are going to, I then went 1 more row over without a bead to give me a little bit more. This would be the end. So you've done all of it with your beads. This is your end. So I did that. And then I kind of pinched it to give myself some tension. I cut it. Well, you can also leave a nice long tail like I did for this one over here so you can hang it easily. And then we're just gonna make a little loop. And actually I used my chain nose pliers for this so I didn't have to let go of the tension. Put it through the little loop, grab it, and tie it. And then you've got a little knot. And you can do a double knot or whatever you like here now that we don't have to worry about the tension. You can make a double knot and you would just be able to hang it, and all of it would be secure. So you would end up with it looking like this. And here is the back side if we were to go and do the whole thing. Now to turn your ends, I just make little loops. So again, we're gonna pretend that this was finished all the way to the end. You grab the tip, and what you do is use a sturdy pair of pliers. Don't use your Zurons, please. I fear them breaking with this. So use something sturdy, and you're just gonna make a little loop. There you go. So just a little loop on the end so that it's all secure and doesn't come off. And then what you end up with, and you can leave a nice long tail on your finishing if you want to be able to hang these. And here is your spider web. And then here. And then we can put our little spiders on our spider web. So there's our little black spider on his spider web. So he was really fun. All right, guys, I'm gonna flip the camera so we can say goodbye for today. Thank you for the fancy complex snowflake idea. I love that. I've written down and put into the calendar all the other ideas. So we're gonna start having classes based on all the ideas we came up with in that show like a week and a half ago, and keep posting more ideas here because it's super helpful. But there's our spider in his web. All right, I'm gonna flip the camera down over real quick. Oh, Christy, definitely you can watch the replay. Oh, thank you, Vicky. How would you attach the spider? Great question. So what he tends to do anyways is grab on with his little legs, if you can see that. What you could do is you could just, if you're committed to it, you could actually just loop the thread into his little wire circle for his little legs. So you can just kind of anchor him that way, because he does just have those little wire loops. So you can anchor those to the thread if you're committed to putting him there. It might be a little hard to get him out after you do that. That's my only thing. Oh, thank you. Thank you guys. I didn't use any eyes. You could, if you were really wanting to, you could get a really tiny little flat back crystal to use as eyes. If you wanted to give him some little eyes too, that would be really fun. All right. I love it. Okay. I want to see pictures, guys. I want to see what you do if you make spiders and webs. Okay. I'm going to flip the camera up. Okay. All right. Thank you guys for joining me. It's so funny. I always start talking with my reading glasses on, and then mid-show I flip to my beading glasses. So I end with my beading glasses. So I'm always a little surprised when I see myself. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you for this idea. This was a really, really good idea. It was so much fun to put together, and they're really fun to make. So I hope you enjoy making some spiders. And thank you. Oh, mahalo. Thank you. Kihao, thank you for joining us from Hawaii. Oh, thank you, Lydia. And guys, thank you for all the hearts. That's great. We're going to have another fun time on Monday, and then Deb is always here on Tuesdays, and I'm here on Thursdays. So lots of fun and creativity. Okay, more bugs. Okay, let me think what I can do. Oh, I was going to ask, does anyone ever want to see bead embroidery? Because I've seen a lot of bead embroidered bugs, and I do know how to do bead embroidery. I love it. But is that something anyone would like to see? Is a class on bead embroidery? Like bead embroidered bugs, because we could do that. It would be a little bit more lengthy. We might actually have to do 2 parts because it's a little bit of a longer skill set. Like it takes a little bit longer to do the stitches, but we could try. Oh, okay, good. And I just saw the question, where do we send photos? You could send them to Thaisa, so service@beadaholique.com, and then she can share them with me. Oh, but you want to learn how to do bead embroidery? Great. Okay, we can do bead embroidery, because I have seen the coolest like brooches, like what are they? Like moths and butterflies and dragonflies and beetles, and they're like a beautiful embroidered brooch using like flat back cabochons, even some crystals. So we can definitely work on that as well. That would be fun. I love doing that. Okay, we got ideas. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. I will see you on Monday. Accessories for the hair. I like that idea too. That's a really good one. Okay. Oh, and Teresa's saying, yes, I would love it. Okay. More ideas. I love it. Okay. Everyone take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you later. Okay. Thank you guys.